breaking news.
Breaking news.
It's like not, but kind of, but not.
No, it is. It's good to know. Add this to your things to talk about at a party tonight. At your home with your roommates. Should we start with a couple of updates from last episode?
We should.
We should.
Pornhub update. Week in review.
So last week we talked with you guys about how Pornhub was under a lot of fire, is under a lot of fire for having so much non-consensual and unverified content on their website, which is obviously horrible and really bad because after doing a lot of reflecting this week, I'm currently personally reckoning with the fact that I've probably watched non-consensual videos in my life, and that makes me feel really bad.
We probably all have.
Yeah. And
even if you weren't masturbating to it, you may have like seen a clip like as you're scrolling
if you view
through.
porn like Arielle does, you might have had it up in like a tab or a browser as you were just kind of narrowing down into your perfect video. Either way, they have been working over the last few weeks to take down any content that was not verified. And at the beginning of the content purge, they had about 13.5 million videos up on their site. And a week later, their site was down to 2.9 million.
Was that not overnight? That was over a week?
It's been fluctuating up and down per this article I read in Vice.
They're like, oh wait, that wasn't a rape one, that was consensual.
I think because their verification and their moderation policies have been so lax, they don't really know what is what, and they don't have the best system for discerning what is good and what is not. So that number went down to about 2.9 million, and that's about where it's at, but it is fluctuating, and it's unclear what the final number is actually going to be at.
Right. So like the odds are that most people have seen something.
Yeah. So
that we shouldn't be seeing.
No, exactly. So if it went down from 13 to 2.9, so that's about 10 million videos that were taken off. I know that I've probably, like, odds are you were taking in some of that bad content. Anyway, we also talked about how Visa and MasterCard were kind of pulling out from Pornhub. Both of those companies are also pulling out from the entire MindGeek network. So RedTube, YouPorn, XTube, browsers, they are all not going to be working with Visa and MasterCard anymore because they don't want to be tied in with this, like, really illegal and terrible scandal, and I don't blame them.
If I was working at those companies, I would be like, yeah. But if I was working at like a sex activist nonprofit, I'd be like, no.
If I was working at a sex activist nonprofit, I probably wouldn't be backing Pornhub, though. You know what I mean?
It's complicated, but it's complicated, and I'll tell you why later.
Tell me why in a moment. Anyway, so the updates on the verification process for Pornhub is that every piece of Pornhub content going forward needs to come from verified uploaders. So the requirement that the platform is also linked to something like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, or Twitter, so that you can actually cross-reference that these people are real, they're actual people, they're not bots, and they're not like creepy, crazy people trying to get away with something dirty and dark.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
I guess, should we look at the underbelly of all this?
Yeah, turn it upside down. Let me see that seedy underbelly.
Okay. It's, it sucks. It's all complicated.
It's bad. It's not good.
So I was reading this, one of my favorite freelance authors, or maybe she works directly for Rolling Stones, I'm not sure. Her name is E.J. Dixon, and she wrote a story on Pornhub and the ramifications of all of its new whatevers on sex workers. So just recapping what Rachel said and adding a little other things.
Little spice.
MindGeek was sued for $80 million recently by 40 women who alleged this site profited from girls do porn. Last year, there was a whole scandal with girls do porn, sex trafficking videos, etc. Republican Senator and anti-porn crusader Josh Hawley recently proposed a new bill that allows victims of sex trafficking and revenge porn to sue sites that host videos of them. And that is good. However, the person it's coming from is not, because they just have like, they have the mindset that porn is a pandemic. And this is kind of like when the Trump administration has done positive things, but because it's coming from that administration, we're like, boo.
Right. It's the difference between constructive criticism and just criticism. Right. Like people who want porn to fail because they are against it versus people who want it to just do better.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Okay, so basically this is how it's going to negatively affect sex workers. So in 2019, basically 2 years ago, PayPal cut ties with Pornhub, and that alone affected about 100,000 performers.
Because they couldn't get paid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for sex work, it's been a huge challenge to get paid and like what banks you can use, and now they can't use Visa, MasterCard, or PayPal. And then Alana Evans, who is the president of the Adult Performer Union, APAG, she says that she sees these measures being placed by Pornhub as just the tip of the iceberg, and that doesn't stop rape. So she likens this to the measures that have been passed in recent years, like Sesta Fosta, which was supposed to stop child sex trafficking, but what it actually did was made it harder for sex workers to be safe in soliciting sex, and it didn't actually help save or stop child trafficking. So in the same sense with Pornhub, all the videos being taken down is good, and that should happen, but people should be focusing on the rape that's happening than like where it's being aired, because just because you're taking it down doesn't mean that you're actually helping the problem.
Well, and it's also this kind of issue of course we want more regulations, we want more rules put in place for safer and more ethical consumption of porn, but we want it to negatively affect people who are harming others and not people who are using this as a mode of income and personal gain. So if I'm a consensual woman who is of age, I should be able to use Pornhub and any other, content site as a way to promote my work. What should not be allowed is non-consensual videos to be uploaded to exploit minors or non-consensual adults.
Right. And
mic drop.
I think, actually, like what you were saying, that they had to, because it's been fluctuating, a lot of porn stars' videos have been deleted unfairly.
Oh, okay.
Being mistaken
for
and
that's the thing. They just, because they haven't in the past had any sort of real regulation in place, now people who are deserving and who are creating genuine consensual porn are being harmed. That's not right.
It's fucked, man.
I'm just trying to get off,
me.
I don't know, whenever we get passionate, we always go into these accents. Like, it has more credibility.
I think maybe it's because, like, we don't actually like being angry people, so...
Ball Street.